Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Highlights. This is our February-March edition.
It's our March edition.
And today we have a special guest with us, so we're going to do an interview before we get to our regular show. We have Alicia Ray-Go, who is our newest outreach coordinator, who works side by side with Amy DeMichelle, and she's going to bring us up to date on the happenings of the outreach department, some of the programs that are available, and how they assist people in Littleton. Mm-hmm. So, first of all, my first question to you is, I heard on TV last night that SNAP was being reduced. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's going to affect a lot of people. I don't know about Littleton people, but I know across the country. So maybe you could give us a little update on that.
Sure. Yes, we work with the SNAP program pretty often. The SNAP public health emergency benefit is what is ending. So pretty much before 3 years ago, when the public health emergency was set in place, people had their benefit amount, and that's what they were awarded. And then when the public health emergency was announced, the SNAP program increased everybody up basically to the full amount that they could potentially receive. So people got a lot more than they were getting for about 3 years. So that public health emergency is now coming to an end. So with that, the extra emergency allotment is coming to an end. And yes, it is going to affect a lot of people in Littleton and all over. So we've gotten a lot of calls so far about it. And basically we've done trainings with the SNAP people and what they want us to do to help with this process. And basically it's to help people not necessarily reapply, but to what has changed in your situation in the last 3 years. So maybe you have more medical usage, which can definitely increase your benefit for the SNAP program if you have more medical costs. So maybe you have more medication costs. So different things for different people may have changed, and that can help them bring their benefit up. Otherwise, it will go back to what it was pre-pandemic.
Could you give us what the letters in SNAP mean? Do you know that?
You would ask me that, wouldn't you?
Well, I just thought I would be fresh at the beginning.
Nutrition, I didn't study up for that one. The nutrition something program.
But they receive money.
Yes.
That's what this is. They receive a certain amount of money based on their need.
Based on their income, along with their, like I said, the medical output. So there's not a lot of things that they can claim, rent or electric, things like that. But if you have medical, transportation to medical appointments is one thing that you can sort of claim, so to say, that can help boost your benefit up. But otherwise it does go by your income.
Okay.
And we do help people with that application. We are here to advocate for you now, help you sort of find out if we can increase that benefit at all now that the public health emergency allotment is getting taken back. I'm hoping that something may happen, considering in the last 3 years the price of food has gone way up. But as of right now, I think it's just going back to what it was before the pandemic. So,
okay.
Can you, that was talking specifically about the SNAP program, and that was quite current. So can you just give us a general idea of all the things? I know you have too many, but a general idea of the things that you provide for, and that's, I think, what we want to emphasize, that the EHS outreach isn't just for seniors. It's for anybody in town. And so you want to give a general idea of some of the services.
Yeah, so I thought about it coming in. I thought about what I might say as an overview of the outreach department. And it's so hard because,
so big.
I mean, we're really, when I say we, I mean Amy and myself and all of us here at EHS, we are supporting supportive services. So Amy and I do our best to support our residents of Littleton. And that can look different for everybody. So you could be somebody who needs that advocacy with SNAP or fuel assistance, SMOC, which is South Middlesex Opportunity Council. Got that one down. So yeah, there's so many different ways that we are here to support the residents. We want to see residents succeed. We want to be here to connect you to resources, whether that might be a public benefit program like we're talking about, or if you are caring for a loved one, a disabled or senior loved one who you're caring for, and you want some resources or information or connection to other people who might be going through the same thing. We have a lot of resources, and then I have my little notes here. There's just so many ways that we are here to help that it's impossible to go through them all, but we're here, and that's the bottom line, is we want you to call us, let us know how we can help. We also have that no wrong door policy. So if you call and inquire with us and we don't know the answer or can't provide the help for you, we will not stop until we get you, to somebody who might be able to. So always call.
I know that Liz, a few years ago, when she was presenting the budget to the selectmen, referred to it as a full social service agency, and it is. It's for a small town. We're very lucky to have that all-encompassing social service agency. Really, can you? I know you said there's so many things. What about like support group things, for example? Because that's one of the things Anita and I are always talking on the show about the activities that are in the broadcaster, and they're always, the fun activities that people can attend. And because we have a limited time, we certainly don't go through all the things that are in that broadcaster. But the outreach department always gets a big chunk of space, so you want to just highlight some of those things. Yeah,
absolutely. So you did mention support groups, which is one thing that thing we can talk about, and then some more. But support groups in-house, we have a fantastic caregiver support group. So that's again with the people who are caring for a loved one and want to make those connections with other people going through some similar things. Also, at the caregiver group, there's always a presenter, or most of the time, a presenter on a different topic. I do believe that a meal is there as well, and that's once a month. It is in the evening for those caregivers who might be working during the day. So that's one, and then we have two virtual support groups. One is called Living Alone, and one is Anxiety support groups. So we have people who do that virtually with Amy or Nicole, and those are also once a month, I believe. So those are just some ways that we have groups to support you, but in our database we have lists and lists of other groups around, maybe not right in Littleton, but around the area. So again, it's always something to call and inquire, and we can point you in the right direction.
And one of the things that I really hope that we can achieve today is letting the public know, even on the younger group of people, if you need help with a utility bill, or if your car isn't working, or all the little things that come up that your finances are at here, and all of a sudden you get an extra $400 bill that you don't have a way of paying, that you can always call EHS to see if there's something available. So if you could kind of spread that out, what I said, and do more about that. I mean, it's just...
Yes, absolutely. That's true. So we encourage people to call if they have like a all of a sudden they have a bill, or they're overdue and just can't catch up and they're going to be shut off, or a vet bill comes up, they can't afford it, but their pet needs to be seen. Those are just some examples.
Right.
But we've had from the scope of a small thing up to really, really large things, and we always try to either connect them with outside organizations that could potentially help with financial bills and different things like that. And then in-house as well. So there is an eligibility process that we go through with everybody, and we can try to put in for some financial help with different vendors and different companies around. So we can look at many different ways to help people who come up with financial hardships.
Can you also talk about a lot of those examples too seem to be not strictly obviously for seniors, but we sometimes think of them as being mainly for seniors. How about for families? I know those other things like you mentioned, rental assistance and fuel assistance, those apply to families also.
Yes.
What other, can you give some examples without being really specific of ways to help families?
Yeah, so I think just going back to some of the things that we've already mentioned for families, like the fuel assistance applications and connections to them, the SNAP food stamp program for families, and then the rental assistance. I haven't even talked about that one. So we do have the rental assistance program. So eligibility process, we go through, see and determine if you're eligible as a family or an individual. And as long as you live here in Littleton and go through that process, we can help potentially with some rent payments for every month. So there is all of that. And but families, we are elder and human services.
Right.
So it's really good to just make sure people know that it's not just for seniors. We will advocate for you to all of the above and more agencies that we've talked about, and be there to support you.
Do you, I noticed in the broadcaster, the listing of, and I've got to look at my notes because I forget the name of it. Oh, the William James interface. Is that really used? Do people really use it? Probably not like they should, or as much as they should, because they don't know about it.
Right, that's what I think it is I don't think people know about that. So the William James interface is a way that we give people this contact for them, and they connect you based on your insurance and other factors that they ask you. It's a very personalized search for some mental health, a psychiatrist or someone to talk to, a therapist, or whatever your needs are, they will help connect you to that. So yes, when people call looking for those types of resources, that's our go-to connection.
And I've seen some people that have used it have said it's very helpful. So that's good to see, but I don't think people know about it.
I think one barrier to getting that type of help is the process of going through everything, and they don't take my insurance, or they can't see me for however long, and then things fall apart. There's just many different barriers, so it's great to have one place to call who's going to ask you those questions and find something based on your particular needs.
And that brings up again the one place to call being Littleton's EHS. If you've got certain kinds of any question. Any
question. Yep, it's never a silly question or a wrong question, or you should never feel like, I don't know if this is what they do there. It's always like, the bottom line is just give us a call. Always just call, inquire, and like I said, no wrong door. If we aren't the right place, we'll help you find the right place. We'll do our best with that. So it's just a good idea to call us.
I think the reason that we wanted to do this show today is there are so many things that you do that, like you said, people aren't just not aware. I know we're going to start talking taxes really soon, and exemptions. And I was thrown back from the selectmen's meeting the other night when they were talking about CPA, Community Preservation Act, and they were suggesting possibly going to a 2 or 3% increase in the amount that they put on the tax bill. And I've talked to 4 people in their 70s since that meeting, and they didn't even know that they were paying
Right.
a CPA tax. And so that's going to be coming up in later shows. So if you have an issue and you don't know where to go, always call us, because we'll figure out where you should go,
Right.
or how to get you the information. And you shouldn't be afraid, because no question is too small or too big.
Exactly.
That's, I think that's the main takeaway is the EHS offers so many things, that people don't know about
Right.
or don't think about or don't know it exists, to be able to just make that phone call to get the answers, or at least get, if not the answer, at least get pointed in the right direction
Right.
toward.
A little guidance.
Yeah.
It goes a
Toward
long
help.
way. I completely
Toward
agree.
help.
Another thing we didn't really talk about, but housing. I mean, there's a super housing crisis out there, and not that we in EHS can fix that by any means, but Amy and I will help people apply for the senior and disabled housing through the CHAMP application, which can be pretty daunting, and just helping somebody through that is really helpful. And then also other housing options, if anything comes up, or trying to look for them. Another thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned too is we talked about the SNAP food stamps, but also getting a connection to the food pantry. Just for people to get more information, like what is it all about, how does it work? We can answer those questions and connect you with them. And if you're not able to get there, we do our delivery twice a month. I actually go out on the bus and do those deliveries with a couple of our bus drivers. So it's fantastic getting out there, and we give a lot of bags of food, and people are very thankful.
And with the food pantry, it's interesting because we're bordering Air and we're bordering Acton. If you use Loaves and Fishes the same week, you can go to Acton Food Pantry. You can use them both. So if you're not able to get something in one place, you can get it in the other, which is, I didn't know, but I'm a member of St. Vincent de Paul, and we were told that you can always go to both. So if it's easier for you to go to Acton Pantry, you can go there, or you can go to Loaves and Fishes. They're both available to Littleton residents.
Okay.
But you have to be a bordering town of Acton or Air.
And Littleton has the little food pantry at the Baptist
At
Church
the Baptist
too.
Church.
The Baptist Church has
Yes.
a small.
Yeah, and that's always full.
It's
They
always
fill it
full,
every
and
day.
It's always open. I mean, you can go anytime to do it or to use it. And when you said you make deliveries of food twice a month, that is not just to seniors, is it also to families?
It is
See,
to
it's
families.
to anybody, and,
Yes.
and that's something that I misunderstood.
No,
So
that is true.
there's
We
another
have a
thing
lot
that's
of people under
for
60.
everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the other thing is the Congregational Church. Their doors are open. They have a frozen refrigerator inside, and there are always frozen meals there that you can go in and grab a meal and take it home with you if you need to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's
There's
another
so
way.
many-
There's
so
so
many
many
things.
options.
And people don't know.
No,
people don't
but
know.
I think like you've worked with St. Vincent de Paul, and we've shared our resource sheets.
Yes.
So I think that broadens what you guys are able to do, because you've got our
Absolutely.
resource sheets to add to yours, and there's
Yeah,
always
absolutely.
a place to go.
Yes.
When you brought up the rental assistance, which, like you said, can be for anybody again, it's not just seniors, it's for
Right.
anyone. The Affordable Housing Trust also has a mortgage assistance program, which is really limited on eligibility, but there has only been one applicant since they put it in. So there's Yeah,
Yeah.
but when you're talking about housing, that's another area that.
Especially over the last few
Oh,
years,
yes.
when people have lost income, people have, been through different hardships because of the pandemic, and so a lot of programs were put in place during the pandemic, which have been awesome to be able to utilize for that. But then in general, like you said, that these programs are there, and we can help connect you to them. There's also the critical home repair program.
Okay.
And we do referrals to that program quite often. So it's another thing. If you've got something in the house that needs to be fixed, or anything along those lines, it's another resource that we can sort of gateway help you find.
Do we still have any volunteers? We had a program for a while. If say I needed a door fixed or something, that there were volunteers in town that would go out and do that. Is that still available?
So we have a great volunteer database, I guess I would say. We have lots of volunteers who are willing to do different things. The handyman type of things are a little bit harder because you have to be insured, or there's all
the
these different
liability
things,
piece,
liability, and
yeah.
there's all sorts of pieces that come into play. But that is one thing that we will get calls for, and it's always something different. Can I have help with this or that? And we'll go through, if there is something that we can find somebody to help with, we will, with our fantastic volunteers. We've had people volunteer, to drop off food or go to the market for individuals in town. We have volunteers who do shoveling. That's pretty big right now. People are looking for that. So sometimes it's harder for us to find them, but we are always looking. I know right now we're looking for people who want to do like friendly visitors. So if anybody out there wants to be a friendly visitor,
Right.
or is in need of a friendly visitor, so this would be somebody who can come in and just chat with your loved one or yourself, just be there so that there's a little bit more eyes on for somebody, not necessarily taking them to the toilet or bathing them or things like
No.
that, but just like a friendly visitor. It is a great program to have, so I know we're looking for those now as well.
Right, that was mentioned at Minuteman Senior Service
Oh, was
Board
it?
Directors meeting, yes, that they were, every
And-
town was looking
Yeah,
for friendly visitors.
And you
Yeah.
bring up Minuteman Senior Services, which is the area service access point for Littleton. And we can do referrals directly to them for people, kind of take that piece off of you, or explain the services they might be able to provide, or get you connected with them.
They have a lot of
lot.
services. Yeah. So,
I think one of the big things too is the applications that you have to fill out for some of the state and federal programs are so daunting.
Yes.
And they I helped with SMOC one year, and I could not believe that application. It's crazy. And that's a lot of work for someone, even to sit there and look at that and see everything that you fill out and all the papers you have to add and the bills and the this and the that. And that's a lot. So to have someone like you or Amy to help with those steps, it's a real
Yes.
positive thing for Littleton.
I completely agree. Yeah, it can be really, I guess daunting would be the word. When you look at it in a whole, an application like that, whether it be for SNAP or whether it be for Mass Health or one of those programs, intertwined with Mass Health or above and beyond, it can be really like people might not even touch it because it just looks like too much. So to sit
Right.
with us, who most of those applications we're pretty familiar with. So we've done them. We can sort of just bring it down and say, well, we'll just answer one question at a time and we'll go through it. And that really does help bring people, to apply. Sometimes they don't even apply because it's too much.
Right.
And you're very instrumental with the Medicare program. Is there anything new there that you want to talk about that's going on?
Yeah, so I know, there's so many things, right? So, yeah, SHINE is serving the health insurance needs of everyone. That's what that acronym is for, and it's everyone on Medicare. So it is a Medicare strict program. We have a fantastic SHINE volunteer who does Friday morning virtual appointments, and then I am also a SHINE counselor in the office. So I have had people walk in or call, or I always encourage people to call and make an appointment with one of us to talk about their Medicare, whether you're turning 65 or thinking about retiring or whatever it may be, just wondering about Medicare in general, because it can be very overwhelming, I'm sure, as you know. There's a lot of different options for different plans and coverage, and Kathy and myself in the SHINE program, we are here to help you go through all of that. I've been doing SHINE for quite a while now. I really enjoy it, and I enjoy going through all those options and trying to make it as simple as possible, if that's a possibility, for people. Right now the Medicare Advantage open enrollment is still going until the end of March. It's the first 3 months of the year. That is strictly for Medicare Advantage members. So if they want to take a look at their plan, maybe they've had something change with their doctor network or their medications, or the plan has changed, or they just want to look at other options, they right now have that time, the open enrollment period for Medicare Advantage members. That's about it going on in Medicare right now.
And you can walk them through all those options,
Yes,
right?
yep, absolutely.
Very good. So did we leave anything out?
I know. Did we leave
did
anything
we?
out?
I
I
see my
bet we
little
left
notes
something
here.
out. I bet Alicia's got something in her notes that she wants to talk about.
We went over a lot of what I
We
kind
did.
of wrote down. One thing I wrote down was you can always give us a call if there is any elder abuse or concerns about an elder, a neighbor, a friend or something. We can sort of point you in the right direction in that. Equipment loan program.
Oh, that's
we have
right.
The
Oh, that's
We
right.
have a closet full of equipment here that we get donations all the time. So if people are looking for a walker or a cane or crutches or incontinence supplies, different things like that, we may have some wheelchairs. If we get a donation, we'll have that. So it's always changing.
And again, for anyone.
For anyone.
Not just
For anyone.
because the other day someone on a Facebook thing said they needed crutches for something for a short time, and someone suggested, it was not a Littleton person, but someone suggested calling their COA for it, and they said, but I'm not a senior.
You don't have to be.
So
That is for
not
everyone.
in
I had
Littleton,
somebody.
you don't have to be, right?
Yep, somebody recently came in for a transport chair for her son who broke his leg, and they had to go somewhere this past weekend, or
Right.
little things like that. So, so always check with us.
Again, it's not just people hear EHS and the first word they hear is elder,
I
and they don't go any further, and they think of EHS and COA as being the same thing, and it's
Yeah.
not. And that's what we were trying to do today, was to highlight
The fact that
the
it's
fact
for
that
everybody.
EHS is for everybody in town.
And get it out there to the public. I mean,
Right.
if you're watching the show and you know of somebody that's not a senior that needs help,
Yeah,
you need to call, because we will help.
right. Or at least
We'll
get them
find help.
pointed in
We'll
the
try.
right
We will
direction.
do our best.
Right.
Yeah, and get you in the right direction. Exactly.
That's-
And you couldn't ask for two sweeter people, Alicia and Amy, to do the job. They're just awesome. Both of them are awesome and very friendly, easy to talk to. And one of the big things also is everything that you talk to these clients about is all confidential.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's important,
Of course.
because some people
Very
don't
important.
want to come and ask for help because whatever the reason is, they're shy about doing it. But it's all confidential,
Yes.
Right.
so.
Yep.
So you think we've covered everything, right?
Probably not, but we've covered a lot.
We've tried.
Yep,
We've
and I
tried.
think that it's never ending. Like I
that-
said, it's really, there's no walls or doors or parameters really around. I mean, there's parameters, but we're open, and we are open for your call for whatever it may be, and something may come up that we don't have on a list, and we'll go with it. We'll help you.
Okay.
Well, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you
Yes,
for
because
having
you're so
me.
busy.
Yes, thank you for,
Yeah,
thank you
we
for being
appreciate
here.
it.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Alicia, for a very informative and important overview of the resources, programs, and events that are available through the Department of Elder and Human Services. And I think that's one of the things we really took away from our interview with Alicia, was that there are so many services that are available to us here in Littleton. Anita and I are only going to highlight the events in March that are new or unique to this month.
That's right. So March is definitely a time to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and EHS and River Court Residences will be sponsoring a luncheon with traditional corned beef and cabbage Thursday, March 16th at 1 o'clock in the multipurpose room, and space is limited, so call to reserve a spot. And on Tuesday, March 14th, the Littleton Garden Club will be helping to make floral centerpieces for the luncheon, so come and join the fun, and again, call to register. And I plan to go to the garden club making of centerpieces. I think that'll be a fun thing. We could learn a little bit from the garden club on how to make centerpieces in the future.
That's what I was going to say. You're going to become the expert centerpiece maker.
I'm not an expert at
That's
anything.
what you just said. But
No, I'm
that's
going to
okay.
learn. I'm
To
gonna
become an
learn.
expert.
Learn how to do it better.
Okay. I think you keep going.
Oh, I'm still on. Okay. I'm forgetting my script. I'm sorry. It's late in the day. Music History with John Clark will be concentrating on, guess what? Irish music in America, traditional Irish ballads, Irish folk songs, and popular songs with an Irish theme. And that will be Monday, March 6th at 1 o'clock in room 103.
His programs are always good.
Oh, they're always good.
I do enjoy those. And March, in addition to being St. Patrick's Day, is also National Women's History Month.
Yay for us.
Yes. So join us for a visit from Amelia Earhart.
Oh, she's coming back.
She's coming. Thursday, March 30th at 2 o'clock. Cheryl Fay will return with an educational and entertaining performance as Amelia Earhart. And March also makes us think that spring is just around the corner, and you should be thinking about the start of the baseball season. Of course, we've got basketball and hockey to go through, but baseball's coming. Anyway, so join us on Wednesday, March 22nd at 12 noon for hot dogs on the grill, stories from the veteran sports writer Howie Newman about his days on the Red Sox beat. That should be very interesting. And there will be baseball songs and some baseball trivia. And the Friends of the Littleton COA is sponsoring this event. So thank you, friends.
Yes, thank you. And there are a few special programs being held in March. A fall risk prevention program will be held on March 29th at 10 a.m. in room 230. The seminar will discuss the issue of a fall risk and how falls can be prevented. In addition, there will be an ability to book a free 20-minute balance assessment. Space is limited, so call to register. And then a lunch and learn event this month will be an educational lecture on keeping your mind healthy. That's what I need. Sponsored by EHS and Bridges on Tuesday, March 21st at 1 p.m. This is limited to 2 to 35 participants, so call to register.
Keeping your mind healthy is
Very important.
very important. And then another special program this month is a watercolor workshop, which will be held on Monday, March 20th at 10 a.m. in room 230. Carolyn Melby, an art historian, will display copies of Edward Hopper's watercolors of Cape Cod and inspire you to paint your own watercolor landscape. And this is limited to 18 participants, so please be sure to register for that. You said you were going to register for that.
I
right?
can't because it conflicts with my line dancing,
Oh, sorry.
and I am enjoying my line
I think,
dancing.
yeah. That's good. That's good.
You're not
Both
going
of
to do
them.
that, huh?
No. And speaking of art with the watercolors, there will be a trip to the Concord Art Museum to view the newest exhibit entitled Unfettered. And that will be on Wednesday, March 8th, and will leave Town Hall at 9:30. And for that one, you call the van dispatch to register, 978-844-6809, and that will get you a space on the van. But I do believe you can also drive yourself. The last month, I guess it was, there was a trip to the art museum, and I guess it was quite popular and quite good.
Okay. Restaurant hoppers this month will go to Paparazzi in Concord on Tuesday, March 28th. Meet at the Town Hall at 12:30 for van service. Again, call 978-844-6809 to secure a spot on the van. And the popular Romeo Club will visit As Good As It Gets Cafe on Friday, March 10th, and Tiny's on Friday, March 24th. The van leaves Town Hall at 8:30 a.m. Again, the number is 978-844-6809 to reserve your spot. And I think that reserves your spot at the restaurants and on the van. So if you're going to take your own car, you still have to call the van service in order to have a space available when you get to the restaurant.
Okay.
That's how that's working.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense. And you just mentioned Romeo. We're excited to announce that we've formed a newly formed group called the Juliet Club, which stands for Just Us Ladies Into Eating Together. How
Very
about
good.
that? And that will be taking, just like Romeo, going out to breakfast, leaving from the town hall at 8:30, and there will be 3 of those in the month of March. March 3rd, which is coming up, is going to Paul's Diner. March 17th is going to Rosie's Diner, that's in Chelmsford. And the 31st is As Good As It Gets, which is in Acton, just over the line. Again, call the van number to reserve your spot on the van.
Right. A heads up for this month of April, but you can call March 1st to register. The RAD Self-Defense Program will be held again on Wednesdays from 12:30 to 2:30. It is a 4-week program led by the Littleton Police Department's officer, Abu. Advance sign-up is required, 978-240-2470. And for those of you who have not taken it, I took the 4-week course with Abu. And number 1, he's very funny. Number 2, you learn an awful lot about self-defense and things to look for when you're out by yourself and how to protect yourself. And it's not so difficult that nobody can do it. When I took it, there were 2 ladies in their 90s that took it.
Wow.
And they were all dressed in the gear and passed the course with flying colors. So I suggest everybody take it. It's well worth it.
That's from your mouth.
From my mouth to yours.
Another heads up, this time it's for May, is goat yoga.
Oh boy.
And that will be coming to Littleton starting in May 24th from 6 to 7 at Fay Park.
6 to 7 a.m.
PM. Sorry. The first session is free, and seniors can register through the EHS department by calling, even in March, even though it's not until May, to register. That's the regular EHS number, 978-540-2470. And this program is in collaboration with Parks and Park and Rec Department. And remember, everybody, to check your broadcaster for detailed information about any of these programs and for the many, many, many other programs and events that are offered.
And before you say thank you for watching, we didn't talk about our craft class.
I did forget to put that in the
So
script.
let's just talk about, March is going to be Easter themed. We will be making bunnies and chickens and eggs. And we have a lot planned so that you could take home a basket of Easter when you're finished. And the class is on March 8th from 1 to 3 in the normal place, multipurpose room. It's limited to 15 and the cost is $3. So hope to see you there.
Right? And thank you for watching.